Hi guys, we are back with another video because I've been in a very good mood lately. I don't know, but we have an awkwardly timed speed build that we're gonna be working on, which is the first ever speed. I think it's the first time I made a build I plan to share. Which is, oh wait, that's kind of scary to think to think about now. We're not going to. It's okay. I'm great at ignoring stuff. But anyway, I say awkwardly timed because in this video, we're actually making a grocery store that is centered around my grocery store mod, or was it Grocery Store NPC Mod that I made a while ago. And I remember when I dropped it, I got a couple people commenting and asking if there was a build that would be uploaded with it. So to make it work, or to be paired with it, that'll work well with it, and there wasn't. And to be honest, there wasn't because at the time I just really didn't feel like making one. Usually when I'm working on packs, right, I'll outline them and I'll work on them and things will change, they'll grow bigger than I thought, etc, etc. But by the time I finish a pack, I'm usually so sick of it. Like, I'll work on a pack until I literally don't like it anymore. Well, not don't like it, until it's like it's just too much for me. I don't want it anymore. And then that's when I know when I need to stop. So when people asked if I had made a build that goes with the grocery store mod, I was so far that was not a possibility. That was not happening. I was physically incapable of doing that. But I have gotten the urge to make this grocery store because I went back and started working on the llama scouts. I was making a post pack plus for the llama scouts. So I released some poses I'd made for them, and then I did recolors for the uniforms because they come in red. But for the colors for the llama scout mod, I also include green. I do red and green, but I did recolors so that the uniforms for children come in green as well, so that they would match your child sims, especially when you use a mod. And then I also released animated deco sims for them, because that was another thing people asked about wanting when I released that mod. And then, I think that was it. So it was the post pack, it was an animated deco sims, and it was the recolors. And working on those really had me thinking about the grocery store again, and how the reason I did the llama scouts was because of the grocery store, because you see Girl Scouts in front of grocery stores. So that's basically a long-winded way of saying we're back and we're making another grocery store. And that the llama scouts post pack is dropping soon. I finished it, so I want to say it's next week, I think, because this week the Clubbing NPC mod goes public, and then it drops next week. Yeah, okay. So for building this grocery store, I knew I wanted to put it on a tiny lot. And in fact, at first I was going to put it on a 20 by 15. And that was because I think this is a lot that I just didn't want to take up a lot of space. And technically you could, if you download it, you could save it as a room and put it somewhere, which is what I wanted, because it's functional without a lot type because of the mod. So I leave it as a retail lot, but there's really no reason in putting it as that, because nothing's set for sale and it doesn't need to be because it's functional without it. And I think if you don't have anything set for sale in a retail lot, no one shows up anyway. So I definitely wouldn't leave this as a retail lot in your games. But yeah, I was definitely going for a kind of small bougie grocery store, but also it's kind of not bougie, a nice small grocery store. But when I say grocery store, I use that term very loosely, because there's no groceries out. There's nothing stocking, there's no shelves in here to simulate that type of grocery store, if you know what I mean. I didn't want to put up shelves and put up random water bottles, because for one, I made this mod so you wouldn't have to do all that, and I just don't like that. I think I have a problem with lots that do like a lot of cluttery items like that. I don't have a problem with them, I just don't like them in my game. So I was very intentional with trying to stay away from that when I was putting this build, and it's just there's no space for that. Oh, I guess there is a little part where I do that, but it's not that big of a deal, it's not important. But yeah, so since this lot is fully functional on the Grocery Store NPCs, I don't need all that anyway, so it works. But that also means that if you don't have that mod, that this lot is a useless waste of space. Like, I hate to say that about something I made, but it completely is. That is just factual information. But one thing I do want to mention is that I was sure to make this lot CC free for the most part. So everything in here, I don't know if you can hear my dog crying, but she wants attention, she's okay. But everything in here is all items that come in game. I think I'm not going to put this up for download on the gallery, but rather I'm going to make a post uploading the tray files on my Patreon. And on the Patreon, I'm also going to include pictures and stuff of the packs I use and the items from those packs. But I'm pretty sure when you use debug items from the packs, they don't show up in the gallery. So I don't know how accurate that's going to be, but that's what I'm going to do for this build. And as I was saying previously, this build is CC free. Everything comes from in-game debug, live edit, and all that stuff. And I don't think I use a lot of packs, but we'll see what it turns out to in the end. But the only CC you're going to need for this is the Grocery Store mod, because that's where the animated deco sims the Grocery Store mod makes it functional via the animated deco sims. And then you have the Llama Scouts Cookie Season mod. And then you have the Llama Scouts Pose Pack Plus mod. And that's because the booths and tables and stuff that are outside for the Llama Scouts, that comes from the Llama Scouts Cookie Season. And then I also have animated deco sims out there, and that comes with the Llama Scouts Post Pack Plus mod. And then of course everything grocery store related comes from the Grocery Store mod as well. Baby, can you chill out for just a second? I'm almost done. But yeah, when I was working on the exterior for this build, I kind of realized halfway through I would have some She wants me to open a door so bad. Oh my gosh. She could wait. Okay. When I was working on... What was I even saying? Oh my gosh. When I was working on the exterior for this, I was kind of realizing that the interior would cause me some trouble. And so I'm distracted. When I was working on the exterior of this mod, I did take a moment to realize I had no clue how I was going to divide up everything on the interior. Like if I put walls in here, it would just be way too congested. And I realized that'd be a problem, but then push it to a problem for later me. And because I wanted to prioritize the outside. Also, you'll see a lot of times even when I'm playing The Sims by myself or just in general, I will prioritize the way it looks over the realism. Like, I really don't care about it. Like, on the outside, you'll see the kind of like semi-truck loading dock type of thing happening out there. On the inside, there's no correlation whatsoever between that and inside. And for me, that's not that big of a deal. I don't really mind it. So if that's a problem for you, this may not be the build for you. Also, since they are like the animated deco sims, some of them are kind of like locked in to their spot, so your sims don't walk back there. And if they were real sims, then they would be trapped, probably starve to death and die. But because they're animated deco sims, it doesn't matter. They're okay back there. They're fine. One thing I will say about this build is I was worried about how I would split up the space with it all literally being one room. Like, there's no bathroom in here. So if your sims gotta pee, they're gonna have to use the public one outside or pee before they come to the grocery store. But honestly, who's peeing at the grocery store? Also, does this count as a grocery store? I'm not really sure what the definition of a grocery store is, but I feel like this is kind of pushing it. But no, you're gonna go here and you're gonna buy groceries. Just because you don't see any doesn't mean you can't buy any. So I guess I could have set the pumpkins for sale. It doesn't matter. That's what I was saying before. I am really proud of how I was able to separate the space, because that is one thing I was really kind of scared by, and I think I edited out a couple ways I tend to do it. In the beginning, you'll see I used kind of the debug fences to kind of map it out, and then that was actually really helpful for me, because then I was able to figure out how I wanted to divide the space, and everything worked out that way. And then I also placed in all of my babies that came with the animated deco sim pack, or the grocery store pack. I probably should explain what that is if you don't know. So the grocery store pack is a set of 8 animated deco sims I made to create functionality for grocery stores. So as you see these deco sims here, they animate, they move, they go through different cycles, and your sims can click on them, talk to them, and then be able to buy groceries from them. So yeah, that's actually pretty straightforward. So for the rest of this build, I think I focused on decorations. Although I keep the majority of it in, I did have to like finagle with the tool mod and stuff to fill up the slots of the butcher station and the what is it called? And the baker's station. So for the baker's area over there, I actually put in the food that comes with the grocery store pack, because I created buyable food from there, and I put those in there to fill up the space. So my thing is, your sims can eat them. I don't know, I think like if sims come and visit, they may autonomously eat that food, but the good news of it is that it shouldn't spoil. I'm pretty sure the way, because those are modded food items that I made, and I'm pretty sure, it was a while ago, but I'm pretty sure I made them so they literally never spoil. So you could just leave them in there. Now, how long would they last without sims eating them? I am not sure. But you know, they work. I did have a lot of trouble with the wallpaper, but I think I always struggle with wallpaper on community lots. I just never know like what's too homey, and then sometimes things end up too warm. So even the way they end up at the end of this time lapse is I can't remember, but it's probably going to be different than how it actually ends up when I upload it. This video is also probably going to come out before I upload it to Patreon, so there's probably going to be a gap there. It shouldn't be too big, but I just gotta keep changing some stuff. I gotta change the photos and don't worry about it. So actually, after I finish this, we're gonna do a walkthrough that I did yesterday. So if things seem a little different, it's because it's a different day. But yeah, we're gonna wrap this up and then take a tour of the complete build. Yay! Round of applause. Put your hands in a circle. Round of applause. Okay, so we are now in live mode in the game, and we're going to be checking out the complete lot. Now, as you can see, it looks a bit different, and that is because I kept on working on it, tweaking a couple things after I finished recording. So here's what the exterior of the lot looks like with reshade, and here's what it looks like without reshade. Not too different, but I just wanted to show you. Now, I'm not sure, this video is probably going to go up before the lot goes up, but it should be shortly after. And I think I'm just going to upload the tray files to my Patreon. Now, I did leave this lot as a retail type lot. However, because nothing's set for sale, I don't think anyone's actually going to show up. But because this lot is going to be depending on the grocery store mod, nothing really does need to be set for sale. So in your game, I'd probably change this to not be a retail lot, just so sims actually show up to it in game. Okay. So this lot uses, I wouldn't say this lot uses a lot of different packs, but more so it'll use like 2 things from one pack, 3 things from one pack, 1 thing for another. So I'll also, in the Patreon post, I'll include pictures and lists of all the packs I use and the items I use from each pack for sure. And this lot only uses in-game items. except for 2 CC packs of mine. That is the Grocery Store Deco Sim pack, as you can see here with the different people working inside. That makes it a lot functional. And then we also have the llama scouts out here. I fell in love with the llama scouts again because I've been making the post pack. Bob. Who? Okay, we're gonna stay focused. So I didn't realize how small children are. What was I saying? Oh yes, I fell in love with the llama scouts again because I recently made a post pack for them, as well as these 2 animated deco sims and recolors for the scout uniforms, so they also come in a green colorway. But we also have the llama scouts out here, so I can experience my complete vision I had with them. Okay, so now making our way over here, I've playtested all of the animated deco sims except for actually the florist out here. So we're just gonna use the buy gifts option just to make sure everything works. Okay, delivery interactions going through. We're gonna buy the apple wine and keep it pushing inside. Okay, so as you can see, once my sim heads inside the lot, things are going to look a little different as I filled up all of the shelves using the grocery store mod for this section and this one. And we have Carter here. Carter as the first sim you see when you walk in. And because of the way I've set everything up, the sims will line up perfectly in front of the deco sim. So for this lot, it's built around the deco sims, and so I prioritized having them function for the gameplay, if that makes sense. So the sims now won't walk behind them because they'll prefer to do that because it's blocked off and there's only a counter in between them. So then now they'll actually walk in front of them because I don't know why they prefer to walk through the back, but yeah, so everything works through that. And then over here we have the butcher's grocery bags, and as well as the meat lovers groceries and the meat lovers and the vegetarian lovers groceries are around here somewhere. Then if we turn over here, we'll walk past the pumpkins to get to both the cashiers. I think I went a little overboard with the amount of groceries on their table things, but it's fine. Here, these are actually the functional grocery bags for the meat lovers and the vegetarian. So you could also click on these. You can buy everything that comes in there in that pack as well. And then your sims can also reach the cashiers. The cashiers as well, so you'll be able to purchase everything, and they should stand properly for both of them as well. We'll have her move over here. Yep, so that's working just fine. And then as we make our way over here, you can also, he's lowering down. Okay, you could also come and talk to this sim over here, my baker Lewis, to also buy your baked goods. So as you can see, it's not a very big lot, and if you don't have the grocery store bag, for those, like, I don't really see a purpose in having this, so it's very centered around the pack. But yeah, I think I really like the way it came out. I think it's going to fulfill its purpose in my game, and I think it works really well. One of the questions I got multiple times after I released this pack is how to make it work and if there was a lot that came with it, and I kind of felt like I was in a building mood. So I'm glad I was able to sit down and do this. Now, I'm not really a builder. I think I'm gonna make this wall a bit higher too for this. Now, I'm not really a builder, but I like the way this lot came out. And for those of you who've been looking for a lot for this pack, I hope that you like it and you're able to make it work on your lots as well. So I think I'm going to wrap this video up here. Again, you'll be able to find and download this build on my Patreon because I think I'm going to upload the tray files over there. Depending on when I'm posting this to, also be on the lookout for the Llama Scouts post pack plus that I'm also going to be dropping soon. I'll see you guys later. Bye!